expected that what her son was going to really go through. But they said that she was always at his feet. She was always praying. She was always somewhere there in the crowd, being an onlooker. But I'm quite sure she was praying for her baby.
Yes.
But she couldn't say a mumbling word to see him go through what he went through. She was working behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So are you working behind the scenes this morning?
Yeah.
Praise the Lord. Let's go on to our scripture on this morning, see how it ties in. And I'm so glad that Minister Gamble did not read her Woman of Strength, because I began to look at it and I told her I don't mind, but I'm glad she didn't. I don't mind. But you know, God is so good and so awesome, but it just let me know, like I told her, that it gave me confirmation of what he gave me.
Okay.
Because it's going to back it up. You're going to see in a few minutes. But we're going to look at Esther, the 4th chapter. You don't mind just staying right where you are. And I'm just going to read the actual outline of the scripture going forward, because of the simple fact that God is so awesome and he's so worthy to be praised on this morning. When you look at what God has prepared for us. And this is what it says. Then Esther bade them to return to Mordecai this answer. Go gather together all the Jews who are present in Shoshan, and fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day. 4 and 15. I also and my maiden will fast likewise. And so will I go in unto the king, which is not according to the law. Which is not according to the law that the queen go into the king. If I perish, I perish. So Mordecai went his way and did according to all that Esther had commanded him. You may be seated. My subtopic to tie in with the lesson on this morning, the topic on this morning, is leading against the odds. Leading against the odds. Here we have Esther. Leading against the odds. I know it says strong women, strong Christian woman. But we have to understand with Esther, she was leading against the odds. And we know in the story of Esther that Artaxerxes and Vesta, Artaxerxes had given a banquet and a feast, and at the end of the feast, he called for Vesta to come in to show her beauty. And she refused the king. And by her refusing the king, it caused her to be punished and banished from the kingdom. So sometimes when people have a refusal in the ministry and don't want to do what God has called them to do, sometimes they have to be eliminated and removed to open up opportunity to those that's willing to work.
Come on, that's good.
Willing to work. So sometimes we have to understand that we're leading against the odds. And here we find Esther. Esther was an orphan because of the tribe of Benjamin. Mordecai was her uncle. Her parents were deceased. They had died out. He reared her in his home as his daughter. And so sometimes you cannot reveal who you truly are to everybody.
Yeah.
Some things you have to keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
I see people all the time, and sometimes when I go places, say, I didn't know you was a minister. See, it's not all about the title.
Come on.
I'd rather be known as a servant
All right.
of God.
Yes.
And they don't even have to call me servant.
Come on.
They can just call me worker.
Yes.
Because I've been an usher at the door.
That's
I've
right.
sung in the choir.
That's it.
I've mopped the floor.
Come on.
I've made flowers.
Yes.
I've done everything.
All of it. All.
But you know what? It's all right with me.
All
Because
right.
I'd rather work until my day is done. Because when night cometh, no man can work. And I'm not talking about sun when it's daytime and it's nighttime. I'm talking about when your eyelids closed and no man can open them but God. That's when you can't work no more.
That's it. That's
But
it.
as long as you have breath in your body, you have to work while it's day.
That's it.
You know, well, here we find that in this story how it goes on, and that she's known for as being such a time as this. And I believe that God has set aside the wild ministry for such a time as this, because there's so many women now that are all loose. And they're silly women that doing everything that is not pleasing in God's eyesight. They're not tending the children. They're not rearing the children. They're not even cooking and cleaning. They're not even doing the minor stuff that they need to do.
now.
Minor to major. They're minoring in the major and majoring in the minor. But they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're not telling that child how to put their things where it goes. They're not telling the child to brush his teeth, comb your hair, wash your face, say excuse me. They're not doing those things anymore. The children are raising themselves. Where is the woman of God? Where are they? What are they doing? We can't find. We can't find them these days. But those that are, you can make a difference in that person's life.
That's it.
Title sometimes run people away. So that's why you have to approach it suddenly,
That's it.
but smart. Because sometimes people has been hurt in the church.
Come on. Say that again.
And they have been hurt by loved ones.
Yes.
So before they come in, they rather what? Stay out. So that's why you have to know how to set in and approach. Jesus never criticized. He just sat among the midst. And when they point out their faults, he asks. Even a woman that was caught in adultery. Why they didn't bring the man? She didn't do it by herself. I was trying to take two to tango. But he was not there. They pointed out her faults in her face. He stooped down and wrote on her behalf. Then he asked the question. Wait a minute. He said, those without a fault cast the first stone. And when he rose up in the air, he said, woman, why art thou accused? He told her to go and sin no more. And she became an asset unto him. Even unto his death. And then she was the first one to go and carry the news. That he had risen. So a lot of times when folks are in adultery, sometimes a lot of people that are living outside of God's kingdom, you can't be the one to put your foot on them. You got to pray for them and lift them up. And show them how to change their ways. Because sometimes your speaking and talking to them don't make a difference. It's your lifestyle that makes a difference that someone want to come in and change their lives. So where are they seeing outside of these walls? What are they hearing you saying outside of these walls? They want them to come in and find out where you're fellowshipping at. Who's teaching you? What church you attending? When is Bible study? We must be that icon that makes a difference. But here we find that once Mordecai heard of what happened to Vesta and how his magistrates told him to call in the virgin of all the maidens that were virgin and have them into purification to pick him a wife. So what Mordecai did, he began to dress her. He began to talk to her. He presented her. He sent her to where she can go and be purified because there was a purification moment of a year.
That's right.
And they had to be beautified and they had to be presented before the king. And in her process of being purified, she found favor. But Mordecai told her not to reveal her true identity. And she did it according to what she was taught and told. And by Mordecai sitting outside the king's court listening and trying to see what was going on, he overheard a plot. What I found out about a plot, sometimes that same person that plot against you, the Bible tells us you did one ditch, you better dig two, because the one you set just may be for you. And when he heard of what they had planned, the ones that kept the door. They kept the door and they began to talk about how they were going to kill the king and how they was going to take his life. And Mordecai began to, relay the message. And then Esther told what was happening. And when it was investigated and found out that it was true. But in the process of him finding that it was true, the two that was sought out to kill him, they were killed. And it was wrote in the king's ledger how Mordecai saved his life.
Come on.
But we find as we go on and read Esther how Haman became a high priest. And he was appointed. But he wanted everybody to bow down to him. Just because somebody appoints you in a high seat, don't think you're better than the next person, ladies. She may be first lady, but she's not above her husband. He is the pastor.
Amen.
Come on.
Even though I have worked with my pastor at DOM, I'm not above her because I teach Sunday school.
All right.
Come on.
So therefore, I know my place. Stay in your lane.
Okay.
You may have a work, but stay in your lane.
All right.
Sister Joan may be over the kitchen, where she's the president of the kitchen. Don't mean you go in and grab her pots. You get what? Permission. Because she may want her pots all lined up by size. Tall, small, medium, large, what have you. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
She may want them lined up so when she go in there and grab her small pot, she ain't got to go through the large pot to get to
Okay.
You know how we is about our stuff.
Yes. Yes.
Everybody tends to things differently. But they want it all in a place. Like I tell my children, I can tell when they took my toast and I told them don't mess with my stuff. But Mama, I put it back, but you didn't put it back like I had it.
Exactly.
But Mama, who you think had it? Her?
Yeah.
I know it was her.
Well, she don't know what movie they did.
That's right. So you have to know your things. You have to know how order is. But he knew he couldn't go into the courts because of his religion and his practice, because he knew he wasn't going to bow to the king.
Yes.
But when Haman got in position, after he had on his royalty, he wanted everybody to bow, and Mordecai came in, but he didn't bow.
Right.
So what happened was it kindled anger to take place. Because sometimes when we get in a high place, we feel like everybody should bow to us and move and beg. It don't go like that, per se. You have to stay humble, and you have to stay meek.
Right.
Just because you're the pastor,
Right.
doesn't give you the authority to talk down to the minister,
Right.
to the members.
Right.
She has to be humble, so respect can come to her as well as him. And when she does that, God can bless the women.
That's right.
And all I seen was harmony between both of them. One don't do nothing without the other.
Right.
And I haven't known them very long.
No.
But I thank God for the unity.
Yes.
I thank God for how they doing things. You understand me? It may start off slow now, Minister Gamble. But eventually, there's going to be standing room only.
Yes, it
The
will.
one thing I found about news, it travels fast.
Yes.
Whether it's good or whether it's bad. It does travel. And somebody will say, you need to come over because we had an awesome time in the Lord. You have to understand that. It's not the crowd that makes the difference. It's the people that's in the crowd that makes the difference. And we have a saying at DOM. We don't count numbers, we make numbers count. And what I like about God, he never had no big entourage.
Yes.
He might have taught the multitude and fed them, but Jesus only chose 12. And those 12 has issues of life. He knew he had some doubters. He knew he had a betrayal.
Yes.
He knew that. He knew that.
No.
And he knew he had a denier. And he knew he had a faithful one in the midst. And he knew he had a beloved in the midst. Which means that he knew he had someone that he could trust with his prized possession, which was his mother. And before he left it, he said, Mother, behold thy son, and son, behold thy mother. Then he told John to take her home. So you know what you got in your midst.
Yes.
So that tells me that everybody's not going to be for me, but everybody's not against me.
That's right.
And you got to work with what you got. And he worked with what he had. But he knew everybody's identity. Do you know who's around you? You have to know your inner courts. Know your surroundings. But he didn't say a little word till it was time. And when it was time, he told him, he said, you're going to deny me 3 times. And he told Judas, go and do it quickly. Because my time is at hand. So sometimes you have to know how to deal with your situation. So here we find in Esther, we're moving right along. Here we find that once Haman came into his position, he began to talk to the king and tell the king how he wanted to destroy the Jews and how he wanted to do this because they were not bowing and they wasn't doing whatever. But the king, Artaxerxes, knew that there was different religions in the midst. And as long as they did what they wanted to do, they were free to, even though they was in prison, they were still free to serve their God and do what they were supposed to do. He didn't bother them and they didn't bother him.
Right.
But sometimes people can get in your ear and tell you just enough to cause you to look at somebody differently.
Yes, Lord.
And before he investigated it, he told Haman to go ahead. But he had to wait for the So in the midst of doing that, getting the authority to do so, the word got to Mordecai how Haman